So what happened is that Robert get attacked by a man who is not known to anyone in the community, and the man begins cutting Robert on the neck, like you can see. After cutting him on the neck, they start drawing blood. So the man was drawing Robert's blood in a barrel. So at the neighborhood, it happened that there was a man, a plumber, who was cutting trees. So he gets a challenge of his machine, which was not working well. So he decided to go to the neighborhood to pick a jerry can so that he changes the oil for the cutting machine. So the neighborhood happens to be Robert's homestead where they were staying. And then what happened is that as soon as he went to the neighborhood where Robert was staying to get a jerry can, he finds a man, a perpetuator, drawing blood from Robert's neck after a deep cut. What is said is that when a man sees a man drawing blood from Robert, he makes an alarm. And then the whole community, people around, the neighbors, come to really rescue. But what happened to the perpetuator? He took off and he left Robert in a pool of blood which he was drawing from him. They had cut his main vessels and they had cut part of his spinal cord. That's why he became disabled, that he is no longer able to move on his own. And yet previously he was a boy who could run, who was in school because he was already in kindergarten. He could speak well, but after that he could not speak. His limbs can no longer move. You can see they are permanently disabled. So his jaws cannot move. His body movement is now limited. There are few movements of his body that can actually be made. After abducting him and taking him to the bush, they pierced him on the hand. When he fell down, so he began shouting. So they used the panga to cut his head because he was shouting. And then he couldn't scream anymore. So they started doing all the rituals on him. So they cut one of the tests from his private parts. After all that, so they left him thinking he was dead.
When I'm running and the man's slowing the panga, and the panga gets me here, and I fell down, and they cut me my part of head.
Show me.
Here. And they cut my neck here, and they cut off my parts of down.
They call him the miracle child. A machete was sliced through Alan's head and neck in an attempt to behead him. He was also castrated. Doctors are surprised Alan survived, but he will need a lifetime of emotional and physical therapy. The men Alan claims kidnapped him for sacrifice live in this village. They were arrested and released without charge. But members of this community have told us that they continue to take children and sacrifice them. Posing as businessmen, we asked around for a witch doctor who could bring success to our local construction project. We were introduced to this man, Awali. During the first meeting, Awali sacrificed a goat to bring luck to the business. A few days later, we were invited back to his shrine to discuss what he regards as the most powerful spell, child sacrifice.
There are two ways of doing this. We can bury the child alive on your construction site, or we cut the child and put their blood in a bottle of spiritual medicine. If it's a male, the whole head is cut off, and his genitals. We will dig a hole at your construction site and bury the feet and the hands and put them all together in the hole.
Alan, do you recognise this man?
Awali.
And is he one of the men that took you, Alan?
Go awali.
Yes?
Yeah.
It's too dangerous to confront Awali.
He knew exactly who did it. The two men appear to have been neighbours of Alan's. They were arrested, but later freed without charge. According to the father of Alan, their escape was the result of corruption. He is still deeply angry, but above all, he is simply concerned for his son. I no longer let Alan out with just anybody, and he isn't allowed out of the house without letting me know where he's going. If he does go anywhere, someone goes along with him. He's never alone. I take him to school. I know he's safe.
Edisa.
He came us calling my name, Edisa. And he came saying, you come and we go and see there is a dead body which has been found just above the house. But as I approached the scene, I just told them she's the one. I've seen body parts or dead bodies of these children. But when I reached on the body of Mariam, it was shocking to see that a number of body parts were cut. And there were signs that this child must also have struggled as they were cutting, because they cut these bodies when these children are alive. Mariam's body parts were chopped off when she was alive, because we didn't find the legs, so they cut the legs when Mariam was alive. We didn't find the fingers, because the fingers were cut when Mariam was alive. And the part they might have cut last was the head, because when we looked at the body, it must have been that on a daily basis they were cutting a piece.
Because in 2008 there were 16 cases which involving bodies of children recovered, but with body parts after they had been kidnapped or abducted, but with body parts missing. And so the trend now continued. In 2009, the trend became to 15, and so and then it has continued up to date. Yeah, because in 2010 we had 9 cases. 2011 they dropped to 7, and then in 2012 we had 12 cases. Then 2013 we had there were 13 cases, and last year we experienced another 12 cases. So the trend has continued. Those are the registered cases, but we don't rule out that some of the cases are not registered. Yeah, so that is what is registered with the